Girl, it's like the Mondayest Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right?
Yeah. The Monday. How do you even say that? Monday is
Mondayest Monday, right?
Monday
Mondayest
is Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I love it. That's the energy that we're coming in with because yeah, it is like a week, right? But I love this. And what's really cool about this is that, yes, we are currently live now, but we are recording this for our future selves, technically. So your future self is going to hear that and be like, girl, just keep going. Because as we rewatch and just talk about what we're going to talk about, which is exciting, then you'll be able to like really see, yeah, kudos to you for making it through this day. And
Yeah,
same for me.
yeah,
Hey, what a future
absolutely.
Ray.
Yeah, what up? What up?
All right, well, for the rest of us, hi friends. How are you? Here we are in July. It's the midpoint of the year. It's also BIPOC Mental Health Month. And one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to just talk about what that means and mental health as a ritual for week one. So let me do a little intro. I do have my notes, okay, because I'm over here like writing. I'm in my writing season, so let me read you a little bit what I wrote. So yeah, I was talking about how you must take full control of your mental health, and it is now more than ever like so important. And so we created this 4 week experience to highlight not only BIPOC Mental Health Month, but really use our zones of genius to be able to like give you or use our zone of genius to give you all the goodness into the world. So tying in fitness, wellness, who we are, and what we do in order to heal and help you. So this month is about reclaiming your time, your presence, having peace through movement. Breath work, we'll be doing weekly coaching, live conversations for you about who we are, where we came from, and how we can help you as well. So week one, put your ones up. Bow, bow, bow. Week one is align the mind. Align the mind. Mental health as a daily ritual. So it's not just about, or it's not just, self care. It's important, it's necessary, it should be your base foundation. So we'll talk about different tips, Q&As, and resources to create a daily ritual around your mental health. So, Tyneka, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm
Yay.
ready.
All right, girl. So we had a little bit of technical difficulties and stuff. So let's just ground ourselves first, right? So we're gonna
Please.
ground ourselves and we're gonna do some box breathing. Okay. And so just to start, we're gonna settle in by doing some breath work. And I want us to get comfortable wherever we are, allowing ourselves to be nice and cozy, warm and comfortable in our seats. Maybe you close your eyes if that feels good for you, or gaze at the tip of your nose, or just have a soft gaze. All right, so first we're gonna take a deep inhale in through the nose for 4. We'll hold for 4. We'll exhale for 4, and then we'll hold at the bottom for 4. So let's start here. Deep breath in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, release, 2, 3, 4. Holding at the bottom, 2, 3, 4. Deep inhale in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Holding at the bottom, 2, 3, 4. Deep breath in. Last one, best one. Hold, exhale, letting it go. Holding at the bottom. Finding your own breath here. And just identify the subtle shifts that happen in your body. That feels good. Maybe you shake it out and just relax. All right. So we are going to get started actually. And let's start out with Tanika, you introducing yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? And what landed you here?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So I am Tyneka. I am based right here in Baltimore, Maryland. Just a bit of background. I've been in the fitness industry for about 12 years, a background in bodybuilding. So I did used to, compete before stepping into like my big wellness space with Impact Fitness and doing all of the things. So let me see. Block. Okay. Um, yeah, so doing all of the things. So I'm a big foodie. I love music. I love being creative. Anything outside of fitness that pertains to food and cookies, like I'm down for.
I love that. What type of cookies? Like, what are your favorite type? If you could have one
Oh,
type.
so chocolate chip has been my thing. Just a basic chocolate chip.
Yeah.
But I like me like a snickerdoodle cookie and white macadamia
Ooh,
nut. So
yes.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
My little secret is that I love cookie dough. So sometimes I'll just eat the cookie dough before it even arrives to be a mature cookie. Oh my
That's
God.
it. That's it.
Look, that's how I feel like I'm going to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Radiance, and I love cookie dough, chocolate chip, double chunk chocolate. Okay. But my name is Radiance, and yes, that is my real name. My mother said I was glowing out the womb. Okay. Mic drop. Thanks, mom. But it's really cool because throughout the years, it's just held me at a specific level of excellence in everything I do. And so I feel like that's what you get is a sprinkle of radiance and everything. So I am a Hall of Fame athlete turned mindfulness, meditation, breath work artist. And I love creating really dope experiential activities and wellness experiences for people. I love or having people have take screenshots in their mind and use that time or something that transformed within them to just, oh my gosh, change your life. Ultimately, I love when people just feel inspired by the way I live as well. So that's always a good thing. And I'm from North Carolina. Any North Carolina people out there? Originally and been in DC for the last 13 years. And my next step is going overseas. And so I'm just saying it out loud because we'll talk about this, like saying what you mean, doing it, honoring your life. And I'm just excited for the next steps and where that's going to take us.
Exciting. Woo woo for overseas.
Yes. All right. So I'm the host for this week, and I'm excited to be able to just kind of like curate this conversation about mental health as a ritual. All right. So I like to say defining mental health as a ritual, for me, thinks I think about freedom and liberation. And our freedom begins when we choose ourselves daily. Now, and we'll talk about this throughout the course of the 4 weeks, but I've been in a time where I was not choosing myself first. And so at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, where's time for me? And it's not there. And to me, that spirals into a whole different shabam that you don't even want to be in.
Mhm.
Okay. And that shabam can be called burnout, which we'll talk about. And just there's just things that I knew that I needed to set in place for my own mind in order to be well. And that's where the word ritual comes in. I love that word. And so my question for you is mental health as a ritual. What does that mean for you?
So, ritual to me means what are small daily routines versus big routines that you can do. So, it doesn't have to be elaborate, but what small thing can you do on a daily and consistent basis? So, it could be like morning silence in the morning just to kind of get yourself ready for the day. It could be um doing a quick stretch or mobility before checking your phone. It could be reading your devotional before checking your phone. So, what are the small habits and routines versus the big overhauls that people think that we need to do when it comes to catering to our mental health? Because it's always the small changes, the small things that we do that has the biggest impact.
Yeah, no, and I love that emphasis on the word small. Like, I think sometimes we feel like we need hours. Sometimes, and I say we, talk about me, okay?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like I
yeah,
need
yeah.
hours to do some of the things, but it's like, no, it's literally like it can start off as something so small. I love that. When I think of a ritual for me and my own individual rituals, there it's interconnected in with a deep devotion to self. And so sometimes, and I even had to like get out of the word small for me because I was tying it with my self-worth a little bit instead of
Mm-hmm.
saying, no, you stopping to breathe for 3 breaths before you get out the shower. That's the ritual. That is you just stopping from, just like, you have a
Yes.
quick shower and then you're out. So then you dry yourself
Yeah.
off and everything is just like, da, 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 da. But when I stop to have those 3 breaths, I put my hands on my heart. When the water is just pouring down, that's a ritual of coming back to self, to like activating your parasympathetic nervous system, chilling. And so that is small, yes. But then it's like, no, 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 it's intentional. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what's one of the most beautiful things. So you even said something small, or what is something small for you? Like, what is one of your mental health as a ritual things? Like, that's my shower moment is mine.
Yes. So there's this book that I read, and I talk about this all the time. So if you guys have heard me speak before, you heard me talk about the morning savers method. It's from the Miracle Morning book,
Yeah.
and it's, have you read that?
No, but I have a friend who
No.
loves that book.
Game
Yes?
changer. He
All
talks
right.
about, yeah,
Let
he
me write
talks
that
about
down.
the, yeah, he talks about the morning savers method. So SAVERS. So this can literally
Mm.
be done in 6 minutes. This can be done in 30 minutes to an hour. So however that, the person decides to do this. So S is for silence. So first thing in the morning, you sit in your silence. A is going to be for affirmations. What are you affirming for yourself for the day? V is for visualization. So if you have this big meeting or this big whatever for the day, like how are you visualizing that going for you for the day? E is for exercise. So, even if we're doing like a minute each, a minute of just moving and getting the spine moving, what can you do in like a minute? You could do some squats, you could do some push ups. R is going to be for reading. So, if you are reading a book, what are 10 pages? If you read your Bible or devotional in the morning, go ahead and do that. And then S is going to be for scribing. So journaling. What are, I don't know, 3 things that you're grateful for, or whatever the case is. So you can literally spend 1 minute for each of those. You can spend 5 minutes for each of those. So you can even do that in as little as 6 minutes in the morning. Um, when we don't have time, you can literally pause for 6 minutes and get that done and really start your day.
God, wait. So first of all, the last one was scripting.
Scribe, yeah, yeah,
Scribing.
scribing, yeah, scribing,
Okay,
yep.
there we go. See, that's my brain. Mhm. I I won't even lie. I literally just wrote that down. Thank you for teaching me something new.
Yeah.
Conversation over. We can go home. Look.
Okay.
No. That's amazing. I love those tips. How long have you been doing this?
Probably it would be almost a year because I read this book the summer last summer. So yeah, I've been incorporating this some way, shape, or form in the mornings for about a year.
I love that. All right, y'all. If you're listening, which you are, I know you are, write that down. So, morning savers. I love that. And that could be a very intentional, like, way to just start your own ritual practice, right? And I love that, Tanika. Thanks for that. And so, we choosing ourselves means shifting our mindset and reframing our mindset, and that's exactly what I feel like you mentioned is like doing one of these, doing it for 6 minutes. You can do it. You can choose this. It's about really shifting and reframing your mindset and reclaiming yourself and your wellness as a non-negotiable. As a non-negotiable. Once I started like thinking of like, girl, you are a non-negotiable, then
Yeah.
it made me want to take at least 6 minutes, for myself to start. And so I love that. And since we talk about mindset, our next question that we were kind of talking about is what mindset helped you start treating your mental health as a non-negotiable?
So it was I would say more of like my breaking point story.
Ooh, let's get it. Hold up.
So
Running my tissues. Okay, because I
no,
feel this
not
already.
really. No, not really, not really.
Yeah,
Um, so I really hit the point of like burnout. I want to say back in that had to be 2019. At that time, I was doing the fitness. I,
mhm,
have a background in insurance, doing insurance for businesses. So I was like doing all of the things, not
yeah,
resting, and I was literally burning the candle at both ends. And sometimes we, as higher achievers, don't really notice it. But like when the people around you start to notice, like you are not showing up as you would if you're 100%. Like I got to the point where my clients are just like, I don't know what's going on with you, um, but you need to rest. They sent me home. They're like, you need to go home. Um, we'll be fine. Don't come
yeah.
back tomorrow. Like, we'll see you next week. Like, they had to force me to take time off. Like, I didn't even realize, like, the point to where I was until they had to tell me. I'm like, what do y'all mean? Like, I'm good. But they noticed the shift in how I was showing up and how I was pouring into them at that time versus when things were all gravy.
Yeah.
So, they ended up sending me home and I'm glad that they did. So I was actually able to rest, recoup, which now I rest intentionally. Like I take time off. Like one of my clients who've been with me since pretty much day one, like she makes sure, like, okay, you're not working this day, right? Or this holiday, like you're taking that day and that day, right? So like they are now holding me accountable as well to making sure that
Oh,
I um, take that time. So rest to me now is essential versus like an option, just because of the point that I got to. And it's like I can't lead well and I can't lead and
mhm.
show, my clients how to lead if I'm falling apart myself, right?
Man, what?
So it's truly leading by
Example.
example.
So that was a point where you were like, "Oh, heck no. I'm not gonna cuss.
Yeah.
My mama may be watching." But, like, you know what
Right,
I'm talking
right,
about,
right.
that full chest moment where you're like, "Okay, I gotta do this."
Have to. So yeah,
Yeah,
resting for sure. Taking the time. Like I literally had to take like a mental health day the other day and I'm just
yeah,
like, y'all, I'm gonna see y'all next week. Like I don't have it in me today.
yeah.
Um Back then I would have showed up anyway. I would have showed up glass, like a drip in the corner of the glass, like not even full at all. And I just would have showed up anyway. But being in a
Yeah,
space where, I also teach my clients like it's okay to like listen to your body, take the breaks, and actually, being like, hey, I need that time, I need that break. And really leading by
mhm.
example today is literally night and day.
Oh, let's go. Wait, we gotta give I feel like I'm gonna be clapping throughout this because
Yeah.
again, even how we started in a fun way that our future selves will be watching this video. It's like we are our future self from this burnout. And I have a story similar as far as
Mhm.
the feeling of burnout. And so it's kind of cool because now I'm like, yes, I'm clapping for you because I know the decisions you made, or what you did to redefine yourself and what mental health and what's self-preservation, I like to say, means
Yeah.
for yourself. Because it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody. And I think that's something that's really strong to note. Um, and I love this question in a sense, like when I think of non-negotiable, even as far as the mindset, I feel like growing up, being in athletics and track and field, like you better be at the weight room at 5 a.m. All right. Cause everybody wants to hire the athlete because they have it all together, which is true.
Mhm.
But at one point when I left collegiate athletics and into adulthood, you're not forced to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to weight room or to compete or do your recovery. Ooh, you
Mhm.
can't force me into a cryo bath now. But those are the things that you had to do. And so similar to you, I realized that I was doing that for myself. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this, but forgetting myself as like the unit, like the vehicle that takes you through life. And I wasn't sustaining that. I wasn't sustaining
Mhm.
working all day, showing up as my best cheerleader self. And I know we've talked about it a little bit, but even as I got into the world of cycle syncing, which I won't go down a super rabbit hole, it shows me that my body is different every single day. And so when we think of a ritual or a practice, and why I decided to choosing or the mindset that made me choose myself is compassion and
Mhm.
grace. Like when you said I had to take a mental health day or I had to just stop, instead of that madness of going, 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 going. One of the just small frameworks of reframing your mind is just be gentle with yourself. When you become so self-aware, you realize what do the kids say now? What the hell?
Right, yeah.
I've been doing this the whole time. I needed this. Like once you start knowing more, you almost I think I read a quote where it's like going sane feels the same as going insane. Where sometimes it's like, I'm
Mm.
supposed to be, I'm aware that everything has too much added sugar and I need to like now cut this. Like sometimes it's like, what? And
Yeah.
so I just love myself, that grace, that compassion. And because I love myself and I have so much love for myself, it is a non-negotiable to take care of myself on purpose. And I'm still on your morning savers, girl. I'm gonna incorporate some of those because
Yes.
it's definitely yeah. So we'll talk about we have another week about burnout. I'll tell you all my story in another week. And some people know if you've been following me through, but it's I think that my story on burnout and diving deeper on yours. What is it? Week three? I think week three for
I think,
us.
yeah, that is.
That's
Yep, week 3.
I won't spend 2 hours today talking about
Yeah.
it.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't
Man,
wait.
what? So when we talk about redefining mindsets, it's also reclaiming your time, right? Because it's like, wait, time out. I always used to like to say, I have an energy budget. You budget for finances. Well, I budget my energy and I need to tithe myself first. Like I need my first 10% of my energy
Yeah,
of my,
yeah.
and stuff like that. And so it's like reclaiming time, reclaiming space, your home, your environment, shifting things around in such a beautiful way to take care of you. And one of the quotes that I love, and it's an inspiration for one of my meditations that will be coming out soon. Shout out to you, Future Radiance. You are your best thing. And I love that quote. It's by the Toni Morrison. And so it's also like a reminder, again, talking about taking care of yourself,
Mhm.
self preservation. You are your best thing. So, wrote a little nugget. When demands feel endless, carving out time for your space, carving out time and space for yourself can feel impossible. I know you probably know what that feels like, where woo, it's like, we got to work out, we got to show up for this meeting, I got to cook, I got to clean.
Mhm.
My
Mhm.
friend calling me, my dog need to be walked. I don't have a dog, but that's like the vibes,
Right.
okay? But
Yeah.
it's like choosing presence even when the world tells us that there's no time to pause. And so one of the things that's helped me, and I went through a mindfulness program with Dora Kamal. It's called Into the Depths, but it helped me realize integrating in mindfulness into all those things, right? Even walking the dog can be a mindfulness exercise. Washing the dishes can be a mindfulness exercise to reclaim yourself, your time, your breath, your presence. And I know it's like, it's just small. It may be just subtle. Remember, that's what we talked about, but that's how it creates more momentum. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. And the world, I put this in all caps. And the world definitely doesn't allow our bodies to pause. And I will say that for sure. And shout out to Black and Brown bodies, because that's what I was meaning specifically, since it being BIPOC Mental Health Month, and we're just trying to raise more awareness and teach people how to care for their mental health. The world does not slow down, especially for us and our glorified bodies. So,
Mhm.
all that to say, girl, here's my question. How do you reclaim space for yourself when everything feels overwhelming?
How do I reclaim space for myself when things feel overwhelming?
Everything,
Um,
not just things. All of it.
so so for me, I I am now not ashamed to pause. So I literally have to implement moments of resetting, because there are definitely moments where I'm overwhelmed, where I have to do this. Well, before I do this, this has to happen. But in order for that, da, 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 that's business. Personal. Oh, I have to make sure I do this. Oh, my mom got to do this, but also I need to do this for my grandma. So moments of overwhelm, I literally have to make sure that I incorporate pausing. Um, I say the best times that I like can think and have a level head clarity is by moving my body. So that could just
Mhm.
be going for a quick walk.
Yeah.
That could be, even if I already worked out in the morning, that could be going to do like a quick, like 10 or 15-minute something. Like if I could just tune it out, turn on my music, move my body a little bit just to kind of get a break from things and just being able to breathe. Um,
Mhm.
that's always my go-to, is finding a way to move my body, taking a pause. Um, Also, do not disturb on my phone is literally my best friend. We go together real bad.
Yes.
Baby, we go together real bad. So in those moments where I actually just need quiet time, I need to focus and just pause and just have a break from people, I will put
Yeah.
that thing on so quick. Music is also my escape too. Just
Ooh.
to kind of calm me down. I love music, and it honestly doesn't matter what kind of music. I love all kinds of music. So I will tune in, listen to music, turn everything off, like unplug,
Mhm.
um, and just use that moment to decompress.
Ooh, girl, I love these, and it's that overwhelming, that feeling. I feel like I'm running from it sometimes because it
Yeah.
comes in like such a big wave, and because it comes in so huge, I think I need this huge counterattack sometimes. But you just said something that anyone could do, literally,
Mhm.
and I love
Mhm.
those tips. Going for a walk. Girl, that's real. And there's studies. I don't know it, so I'll put in the link in the description.
Yeah.
But there's some studies that talk about walking and being in nature and it uplifting. It's literally science. And so, or seeing greenery. So I have a lot of plants in my house. If I need to walk around my house, then I will. One of the other things that you mentioned that I love, music. Music. Now, okay, because I'm gonna ask you what playlist, but one of the things that made me think with you, I have a playlist. It's called I think it's called Soul Cleanse or Cleanse Your Soul, but it
Mm.
is my praise and worship playlist. Like there are songs on there that if you need to cry, you don't have time to cry, you know what I'm talking about? Where you don't
Yeah,
have time
yeah.
to schedule to cry, but you need to
Yeah.
cry. Yeah, it's it's one of those where you put that playlist on and just let God do its work, His work.
Okay.
So
Mm.
when I'm overwhelming, it depends on if I need my little hype music on a piano, to get things cranking and going, or I just need to schedule time to cry.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What's on your
Yes.
playlist?
So I have two different playlists depending on, what's going on. So like if I feel like life is lifing and I'm overwhelmed because of that, I have like a gospel favorite playlist that I will listen to and literally go for a walk. To ensure me that everything's gonna be okay. Tyneka, just breathe, right? But then there's the playlist where I just need to decompress and just relax. It's actually titled D&D, Do Not Disturb. And it's literally, I just looked at it the other day. It's like 4 hours of music,
Oh, wow.
of like mainly like R&B. So it could be like Lucky Day, Her,
Oh, love.
SZA,
Yes.
um
You have good
Miss
taste.
yes, Miss Alex Isley. So yeah, so I do have an extensive R&B playlist that I do play
Yeah. I love
for
that.
that
One of the
moment.
one of the icebreaker questions, and also with with dating for me, you always have to have like good like questions, right? And so one of the
Yeah,
questions
yeah, yeah.
was, what's one thing you feel like you couldn't live without? And we're not talking about, the basic things, of course, those are there. My answer is music. Like music, if I had a soundtrack like everywhere I go, which it is like that's how
Mhm,
I feel internally, I mean I would. And even when it comes to just listening to binaural beats or soundscapes or sleeping bowls, even like instruments. I love the cello. Like I'm learning more about myself through listening to different forms of music.
uh,
And yeah, so anything in the world, or if you can have one thing in the world, music, like music.
it's music, music. It doesn't matter what your mood is, like, there's a song for that, like, there's an app for that? No, like, there's a
Yes,
song for that.
there's a,
There's a
or
playlist for that.
a lyric and a song, a beat, something.
Yes,
We can find it.
yes,
All right,
yeah,
so we'll make sure to tag some of our favorite playlists in this description because, again, if both of us are like, yes, music, we probably have some fire playlists
okay.
to keep us sane. So, again, you are your best thing. I love that. Now, I've been this girl, like when I think of these questions, I've been this person. Okay, so one of my questions, it says, what do we say to the ones who feel like there's just no time to pause? I've been this person, this girl, so many times running into the ground. And so now, going back into what we talked about, how we are non negotiables and we
Mhm,
have to be with them first. And so, shifting my mindset from I'll tend to me later to I'll tend to me first. That's giving that tithing, like tithe yourself first with your own energy. And when I say yourself, it's also when the first thing I do is pray and write. So it's like, spending that spiritual time for me in the morning and infusing myself first, right? I like to think of before I get out. And so it's just one of the questions as I was brainstorming this also is oh my gosh, if everything we do is coming from exhaustion, what's the point? And I was
mhm.
like you're literally, have you talked to people where it's like, how you been busy? Doing so much, busy, busy, busy. Like, okay,
Yeah,
well, have you lately that you love? Like, are you just busy or like you're just exhausted? You're conquered, but you're like, what?
mhm.
So even for me, I was just like, ah. So for me, that's what I say, tend to yourself first versus later. But what would you say for someone who's watching this right now and it's like, girl, I ain't got time to pause. I can't. I don't even know what that means. Help me.
So I would even say, like, the truth of the matter is, like, you're already pausing, just not with intention. So if you think about it, how long you scrolling on Instagram
Hold up. Don't
or
clock me.
Facebook,
Don't look at my
okay?
stats. Don't look at my
All
stats.
right, all right. Like, how long are you doing that? That is actually a pause. I mean, you're pausing
Mhm.
because you're scrolling, but it's not like an intentional time that you're taking to do something or pour into yourself. So technically, like, you have the time, you just have to use it wisely. So,
Yeah.
you're already pausing, just make sure it's with intention. Um, but also I would say like time isn't the issue, it's the guilt that's behind it. Um,
Girl, where's
it's
my
the guilt that's
fan? Oh
behind
my,
it. Even if it's just like
oh
5
my
minutes, you
God.
feel guilty. And I'm not coming for you. I
Ooh.
may be, but I've been there, done that. Like when I have a laundry list of things to do and I'm sitting here on the couch relaxing on a Sunday and I felt guilty because I'm like, Tyneka, you don't have time to relax because you got this to do. This is due on Wednesday. You haven't even started. Like there's a list of things and I was
Yeah.
just feeling guilty for actually resting. But but that's needed. So it's not always about the time as well. It's just the guilt that's behind it that we have to address.
Oh my goodness. And you just, woo. Okay, first of all, can we just let that one simmer real quick? A moment of silence because
Yeah.
I feel that. And even on days where there's been times where I've like had to take off a day. I was just talking to a friend about this, and I was like, I feel like I wasn't resting because the whole time I was thinking about the things I needed to do.
Yes.
And so, did I rest for real, or was I just ruminating on the things that I needed to do? And so, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to rewatch
Mhm.
this again and again. I'm just gonna clip
Yeah.
that, the guilt. And so freeing ourselves from that also ties back in that self-compassion, right? As a ritual, compassion as a ritual, letting yourself lead with that versus the guilt of that you're not doing enough, or maybe you let this go. I don't even want to tell y'all what happens. Like if too much is going on, whew, I need to my dishes start piling, and that's when I know that my dishes are in the sink and I can't wash my monsters on Monday. I'm like,
Mhm.
radiance, you've been doing too much. You haven't really paused. And maybe you feel guilty about it because I know you looking at those dishes every day, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly.
thanks for that. I love that. And I think that's great. It's a great nugget to think about, and even just diving in deeper about how do we love and care on ourselves a little bit more. So all right, girl. So now for those who are watching, they're like, okay, 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 okay. Oh my God, y'all just said so much. Still, let's talk about what it looks like to be consistent. All right. Because sometimes day one, we cool, we kicking it. Day two, ooh, we still in there. Day three, yeah. Day four, oh, snap, hold up. Day five, oh, wait, day six, well, I can't do it today because I didn't do it yesterday. Oh my
Right,
gosh. And then it
right,
it cycles. So one of the things I think about when I think about consistency is simple and it's sustainable. All right. So similar to what you had said before. And when we actually clarify, I know I have to write things down or cute, gentle reminders. It helps me from overwhelm instead of like, you have to do all these things, and just kind of making it more clear and concise for
Mhm.
myself. But thinking about how those small changes lead to big transformation. And one of the things I've been writing so many meditations, I've been thinking about is that every step is the destination. Every breath you take is your destination. It's not that, oh, once I get here or when I get to this point, then I can. It's like,
Right.
right now, as I head to that point, I will. And it's like just being consistent in that. And I love that. So, of course, rituals and routines provides the framework for mental resilience, that I will energy, that I am energy. And so structure, and then I put in parentheses, AKA discipline, because people don't like that word. They're going to cut off the video right now. Cut off. But one of my strongest things is my discipline. I used to tell my friends that it's definitely
Mhm.
my discipline because it's how I can stay consistent when motivation is not there. Because
Mhm.
newsflash, buddy, motivation doesn't wake up every day. Okay.
Right.
But discipline and showing up for yourself does. And we live in the DMV. It's fast paced. We're over here. We're entrepreneurs. Oof. Okay. Like everything is on all the time. So what give the people two of your daily practices as a business owner, also living in this world that helps you anchor.
Oh, okay. Two of my daily practices. Well, I already talked about the savers method, so I'll give
Yeah.
you something else. Um, I would say uh a mindful meal. So it could be breakfast,
Ooh.
lunch, or dinner. It's usually lunch or dinner. And what do I
Okay.
mean by that? Like, think about how often you're eating your meal, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, but you're on the phone scrolling, or you're trying to answer emails while you're also eating. Like, you're multitasking
Yeah.
while you're eating. Having a mindful lunch, turning your phone off or do not disturb, whatever, closing your computer and actually sit and enjoy your meal without being
Mhm.
distracted with work. Like, it's gonna be there when you're done. Like, after your last
Yes.
bite, like, you're gonna be right back to it. Like, take the 15, 20 minutes, whatever time that it takes you to eat your meal and actually just sit and enjoy it. Like, I have my clients do that. Like, I challenge them to do that. And now, one, she's still consistent with it, but also um that prompted her to start incorporating 15-minute breaks between meetings, because she would be back to back to back to back. But now, like, she doesn't, her assistant makes sure like that's in her calendar. So now she's holding those boundaries to allow her space to breathe throughout her day, just from incorporating a mindful lunch. So that's what I would say: incorporating a mindful meal,
I
one a
love
day.
that.
To start,
I
one a day.
love that. How did we start from
Yeah.
chocolate chip cookies to mindful meal? Look,
Right.
that's how I was mindful. I said double chocolate chunk, please. Okay.
Right.
No, I love that. And I know we still have another one, but I love that because one of the things is when you talked about back-to-back meetings, I've been there too in this corporate world where they glorify back-to-back meetings. And what a lunch meeting, or we'll have a meeting for lunch, so you're not even able to taste your food. You're either scarfing it down because you need to talk, or I know for me,
Mhm.
when I'm
Mhm.
in a working meeting or like I'm not like I'm taught like I don't really eat the way I should in a sense.
Yeah.
And so I love that. And I've been incorporating it a little bit more even with my smoothies. I try to taste
Mhm.
every flavor. And I'm a big ginger girl, so I'm a pop that ginger in there, but I'm like, girl, but what else is in here? Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
that I love that. I love that. That's such a good nugget. Give me another one. Look, you are full of gems.
Uh, I think, I think it just still goes back to the savers method. Like,
Yeah.
I had a bad habit of the first thing when my alarm goes off, I hit snooze, I open my phone, I go to Instagram and I scroll. And I'm like, I cannot start my day like this. So yeah, even outside of the savers method, I spend more time on the reading,
Yeah.
because I'm reading a devotional or a chapter of the Bible every single morning. Before anything, I'll turn my alarm off,
Yeah.
and that's literally the first app that opens on my phone, either the Bible or actually physically pick it up. And that's literally the first thing that I do every
Got it.
single day. And I cannot tell you how many times, like, when life was life in and things were happening, and like I would open it and it's just the right thing that I needed to
Yes.
hear that day. And I'm starting my day crying, but it's all
Yeah.
good. Um,
It's a release of cortisol. Mhm.
Yes, yes. So, even that particular practice, um, has been about a year, almost a year and a half, that I've been doing that every single day. So I do not start my day with social
Mhm.
media anymore, thankfully. It's definitely made a difference.
Yeah. See, boom, counteract that because they say social
Yeah.
media is just like I heard something, it was really cool, where it talks about when people wake up and open their phones and they're allowing whoever they're seeing, that's on social media, when they're not even standing vertically upright, into their room and into their space. And I've never been able, like, ever
Mm,
since hearing that, I was like, I cannot let them look in my bed and my bedroom. Like, and I know that they're not
Yeah, yeah.
physically, but again, like when you think about it, like you're like that person not even knowing. No,
Mhm.
you have not been up for 32 seconds and you're watching their stuff is wild. And I mean, I hope that people are not watching this first thing in the morning. I hope that you at least had your morning routine and
Something.
then you're able to watch this, right? Because it goes back into like giving yourself time first. But thank you for that vulnerability. I am a recovering Instagram first person, okay? Like I'm slowly in this facility to get myself out.
Yes. I love
um,
it. I love it.
yeah, so mine is also, yes, definitely the Bible app. And I do it on my phone. Just at least reading the story, how it has the scripture, the story. Like I need
Mhm.
just like a little 1, 2 real quick because it's still on the phone. And I don't
Yeah.
even want my eyes to be looking at a screen, essentially. So I do a little clunk clunk. And then I go
Mhm.
into meditation. And so I listen to between 5 to 20, no, 20 minutes is like still in the bed is risky behavior for me,
Right.
okay? But 5 to 15 minute meditation. Sometimes I roll over on the floor on my cozy rug. But meditation just to get like just some thoughts in and first, and then that's when I kind of go throughout like making a warm tea and again a mindful morning and then writing into going into writing. But really, and if I have a dream, immediate voice note, like I audio message the dream immediately
I
because I
love that. I need to
know,
do that. I need to do
yes.
that.
And I don't dream often, so when I do, I'm like, and it's always with a raspy breath
Yeah.
voice, I had a dream, you know.
Right.
But again, like even that is a ritual. Like, so I
Mhm.
can go because that's your subconscious thoughts, right? Those are your thoughts. So then I can come back and be like, huh, all right. And then just add it to my self-awareness toolkit. But I love those. And then I also have put just like writing gratitudes or writing in the morning for sure. And then one of the things that I'm just doing now is morning sunshine. So as I write,
Mm.
because I have a cute little balcony, I write on my balcony in the morning. And I know the time, I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier, the
Yeah.
time when it's like the sunrise and the sun and then about a certain time, it's like, girl, go ahead and go inside. You out here sweating on your forehead. Okay. So it's good to just get that morning sunshine and a dose of outsideness while the weather's
Mhm.
nice. Woo. So daily practices, y'all. We're giving you some tips. And again, starting, I like to say just intentional and just things that soothe you. A little morning sunshine. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we talked about this a little bit, and I do like this question, so I'm still going to put it out there. Is how do you stay consistent when motivation appears? Or sorry, when motivation
Disappear.
disappears. And as you see, one of my little notes, and I said we started because it came from the Bible app, like first thing in the morning. Again, prayer.
Mhm.
When motivation disappears, and I don't even think my discipline showed up for class today. Prayer.
Absent.
Prayer, baby. Okay. And if I can't pray for myself, I'll send a text to a friend and be like, can I have some encouragement? Now I do, I'm a shout out Dr. Danielle James, one of my good friends. If I just text her, can I have some encouragement? She sends back an exclusive premium 5-star voice note.
I
Okay. And it
love
could
that.
be prayer, motivation. It might have some Glorilla lyrics, whatever. Okay. But it's something, it's a form of prayer in a sense that I can also call in my community. But
Mhm.
I think if we're talking to someone who's like base foundation, sis, I ain't got discipline, I ain't got nothing. What do you have? Prayer. And then my next thing I said when we were talking about this, I often think about my future self and how she's rooting for me to make one decision to get closer towards her. Just one. It doesn't
Hmm.
even take so much. I just think of and we have these visualization exercises. I'll
Yeah.
tell y'all more in more weeks of what my future radiance looks like. But I see her being like, Radiance, come on, girl, wash those dishes. That's all you got to do today to get to me, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
literally.
exactly how it would sound. Like, and for me, I think it's like, oh, I have to go pitch, I have to go do this, I have to go do this. No, 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 girl. Today, on July 1st, in order to get to me, this multi-zillionaire with community large global impact, in the book of your life, it just says all you gotta do is wash these dishes.
That's
Like sometimes I wish that like I create these stories in a fun way to just be like one thing. Your future self just needs one thing from you today. Just one thing.
that's
And
it.
it doesn't have to be big. And that and prayer that's what gets me through when base foundation, nothing shows up for class.
Mhm.
How about you?
Mhm. Mhm. So, yeah, it's funny that we're having this conversation about motivation and discipline. I actually did a live with one of my posing clients from a while back, and she had
Oh.
said, motivation is the flaky best friend. So, like, y'all planning brunch for Sunday, and like all week, y'all texting, girl, what you wearing? Oh, I don't know, but I got these new heels that I think I might, da 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 da. Like, all that is happening. And
Mm-hmm.
then Sunday comes and you get that hey boo text message from motivation, like, yeah, I'm at the rain check. Like, that's your
Yeah.
motivation. I'm like, that's so true, because when you need it to show up, like, sometimes it's not
Yeah.
there. So yeah, definitely building that discipline. And one thing that has helped me is habit stacking.
Yes.
Shout out to the book Atomic Habits by James Clear,
Yes.
all time fave. Is habit stacking. So what's one thing that you want to implement? What's one thing that you do every single day without fail, whether it's make your bed, whether it's brush your teeth, whether it's take a shower, whether it's, read the newspaper, whatever it is, what's the one
Yeah.
thing that you do per day without fail, and add that new habit that you want to implement with it. So
Yes.
habit stack them. Um the other is create my daily minimum, or create my minimum. And what I mean by that, like,
Mhm.
if my goal or my stretch goal is to work out, for 45 minutes, but let's say I don't have that. Okay, what's your minimum for the day? Is it move your body for 5 minutes? Like,
Mhm.
establish whatever it is, what is going to be your minimum?
Yeah.
One of my friend calls it the floor. What's your floor, and then what's your ceiling? If you ain't got
Yeah.
the ceiling today, do the floor. Shout out to Tristan. But do what's your floor? What's your minimum? Set your minimum for whatever that habit or whatever may be. Don't go below that, because then you'd be under the
Yeah.
ground. But like, what's your minimum? And then, of course, if you
Ooh.
got it in you, just go to your max. What's your
Yeah.
expected? Yeah.
All right. You have me thinking about what is my minimum. And because that G word, that guilt word, comes
Yeah.
in. I don't hit that minimum. I'm like, girl. So now I'm like revising my minimums and what does that look like? Because of course I'm a workout goddess, all right. But then there's days I don't work out where I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
that's okay because like I've been working out my whole life and there's compassion in school and probably because I was walking around or something. And then there's days where I don't hit the minimum. And we know what we're talking about. Not even the
Yeah. Yeah.
compassion. We're just sad. And so on those days, I'm trying to reframe and redetermine what does that look like. So one of the things that helps me, speaking of when you said like 5 minutes, is putting on a timer. Literally,
Mhm.
because you 5 minutes to stretch sounds I ain't got time.
Right.
But
Right.
girl, you maxed out your time on Instagram today. What you mean? That's me. So it's just like I'll put on a timer. And so sometimes I'll be like, okay, just 5 minutes, boom. Or I'll have a specific song. Even when it's writing, I
Mm.
have a specific song that's 6 minutes, like just write to the song. When the song's over,
That's
you're done.
good.
More than likely, when the song is over or when the time is over, I'm over here like, oh wait, but I'm still going. Like I don't want to stop.
Yes. I
So that
love
has
that.
helped me. I love that for my floor, even my floor. Like, girl, put on a 5. This is me. If you can't tell, I talk to myself a lot. Like, Radiance, please put on a 5 minute timer and drop to the floor and touch your toes right now.
Okay.
And that takes no motivation. Trust me. Like, it's just like, all right. And then I get mad, like, why can't I touch my toes? It's because you're tight and tense, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to like kind of relax into it. Yeah. You get
That's a
the
fact.
vibes.
Yeah, yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah. I love that. So in saying that, one small shift someone can make this week as their homeworks, we'll talk about some homework to honor their well-being. One thing.
Hmm. I would say ask yourself, what do I need? Ask yourself that once a day. Example, example. So like if my plan today was to, weight train, but like my body or whatever isn't feeling it, my body may not need a weight training session today. My body might need stretching mobility. I might
Mm,
not need to be out and about and go all the places. I might need just to rest and unplug and not be around people. Right. So just ask
yeah.
yourself once a day, what do you need? What do I need? What does Tyneka need today? And cater to that one thing because it's not going to be the same every day. And ladies, we
Mhm.
know it's definitely not going to be the same every day of the month, right?
No.
So ask yourself, what do you need based on how you feel, your energy levels, like what's going on? Just ask yourself, what do I need today? And cater
Yeah.
to that one thing.
I love that. The one thing when you had said your body's different because I feel that there's one day out the month, what do I need? You to get out my face? Like
Oh, please.
please. And
Immediately.
then I'm like, oh, that means I need to go lay down. Look.
Yeah.
So don't make it perfect. Even if it's like, I can't even think of what I need. Oh, there's the answer. Like,
Okay, okay, it's right
maybe
there.
it's just a break.
Exactly,
I love
exactly.
that. When I was thinking of this question, what I was thinking for someone just to do one small shift for this week is pause before you respond. Just
Mm,
pause. Like that's something that we don't even think of sometimes as wellness, right? But it's literally slowing your life down a little bit. So because there's times where I'll get a message, or even if it's like face to face, just pause. You don't have to be the first one hurrying up to talk, to do things, to
yeah,
answer that email. Just pause. And when you start to pause, then you start to see the silence, the sweet stillness um, of being in the present moment. And then more than likely, you start asking yourself these questions. You start, oh, let me just make a cup of coffee or tea before I answer this email that was a little passive aggressive. I ain't
oh
gonna
yeah,
lie. So instead of being like, oh, let's go,
yeah,
enter
yeah,
Kermit meme, you know. So pause before responding and ask yourself, what do you need? And that's it. That's it. That's small shifts for this week. Oh, okay. I think that can be our intention. Or do we want more intentions? I feel like I don't want to give the people too much because we got so much more
yeah.
to give.
We gave them so much this week one. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
like we give them a lot.
So
Came
much.
in
Is
with
there
a bunch of
anything
food.
else before we land this plane, girl? Is there anything else you want to give the people about aligning your mind and treating your mental health as a ritual?
I think I said most of the things, but yeah, as you guys are, with us during this series, like we are giving you like a lot of gems. And when I say
Yeah.
a lot of gems, I mean like a lot, a lot, a lot.
Yes.
Don't be overwhelmed. If you can get one nugget per week, if you could get one nugget per week, like there's gonna be a whole bunch of nuggets. Like we're gonna have like a
Mhm.
20 piece, like okay, nugget. But if you could just get one, right? And implement that, like we're always going to be here for you to watch it back. Like, okay, yes, I just implemented, what Radiance said. Okay, now let me go back and try something else and let me see how I can implement that. Like, take it bit by bit. Like we're
Yes.
here for 4 weeks, okay? Um,
Yeah. And
start with
beyond.
one task
But
and
like,
beyond and beyond.
because we're giving you
Okay.
resources, right? because we're giving you resources. And one of the most beautiful things is that we teamed up together to put both of our brains and our genius, our skills together to be able to give you this really holistic, comprehensive plan. And sometimes it's a lot. I get that. I've been there. Have you been there, Tanika? Where you're just
Been there,
like,
done
just
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
done that. And so we're creating this series using our zones of genius, using our learned knowledge, so you don't have to go run to get it, right? That you can come into this space right here. We're going to have so many beautiful links in the bio and to support you so that this is a first step. You don't have to feel alone, okay? You can get these vibes. You can just smile if you have to. Like, but we are here to support and help your mind and your body and your joy for life ultimately. So in saying that, you have homework. Don't get it twisted. All right. So when we think
Okay.
about our homework this week for week one, it's all about aligning your mind, creating the rituals for your the resources and the let's say the framework for you to just start the shift within your mind and your body. That's it. As you saw, we gave you tips on little nuggets, little small things. We also gave you some big things if you want to just go for the jugular, okay? But either way, this is how we're going to start. And so, in saying that, we have some curated resources. And from my side, your homework for the week, we have a daily meditation. All right. Meditate daily. And so I have a 5 minute box breathing that will be, or box breathing meditation, I'll be linked below. And if you can't do it daily, then that's okay, but do it once, at least once. Box breathe, similar to what we did earlier. And that can help you just have some presence. You can do it in between meetings. You can do it in your car before you go out. You can do whatever. All right. So we have that. We also have an on demand yoga session on YouTube. Now, y'all, again, we're talking about rituals. So this is less than 7 minutes. It's 6 minutes. It's in a chair. Okay. Don't make me pull it out right now. We all do it. But it's 6.5 minutes and it's chair yoga. Just starting, get your mind and your body like, what are some ways that I can at least become aware of my brilliant, beautiful body? So doing that yoga session. And then you can find us in person. Or here, I'll talk about my in person offerings. I know that this is in the summer. So I do have a summer outdoor series with Clarendon Crossing if you are in the DMV area. And all of those are going to be amazing. I'm not even going to talk about it too much. Link in bio or link below, right? And then also
We may have.
with mental health.
Oh, you there?
There I am. I'm
Okay,
back.
there we
I'm
go.
back, baby. All right, we have a webinar with Mental Health America coming up on July 23rd, celebrating BIPOC mental health as well. And so all of this will be linked below for my end. Tanika, give them more of a that 20 piece you're talking about. What's their homework?
Yes. So your homework, see how you can incorporate the savers method. I think that's a good start. How can you incorporate that in the morning? Let's start there. Like I said, even if you have 6 minutes, and if you have an iPhone and you snooze more than once in the morning, just don't snooze the last time. That buys you 9 minutes. So now you have time to do the savers. So
Ooh,
okay.
love that.
um, yeah, so that I'm also going to link my free Fit in 15 ebook at the bottom. So Fit in 15 is a whole resource book of exercises, recipes, and like mindset activities that you can do that takes you 15 minutes or less. So, you can fit it in 15, fit in 15. Yeah, got it. Good, 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 good,
All
good.
right.
So fit in
Okay.
15. Yes. I can also link a 5 minute hip mobility at the
Yes.
bottom as well. So for those of us who sit for most of the day at a desk, like your hip mobility is going to be key. So I'll also link my 5 minute hip mobility down here as well. Um, we will have a event coming up later this month,
Ooh,
TBD.
all right.
But once
I
it
love a
is
little bit of
TBD,
mystery.
right? Once it is TBD, I will put it in the description as well.
Yeah, I hope it's below us, right? It's below.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
so
my
that's what we
goodness.
got.
All right. Well, Tyneka, what is your at, or where can we find you?
Yes, so Instagram at T Denise, so that's TDENIISE.
Okay.
That's on Instagram, and then Tyneka Pack on all other platforms, Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay. All right. We have all platforms. Yes.
Yes.
And I'm Radiance, and I am energy, the word energy, the number two, and then radiance on all platforms. However, I'm going to give you my top two right now because I don't need to be scrolling on Instagram in the morning. Okay. So don't, YouTube, subscribe and like this video, even right now. If you feel that this was good, subscribe and like so that you can get more content. And then up next, Substack. All right, Substack helps you with these nuggets to be able to get all of the goodness of the affirmations, the wisdom, the morning mindfulness. And so I would say those two first. Instagram, TikTok, if you want to see more behind the scenes. But check me out. Check Tyneka out as well. Do your homework this week in such a beautiful way. We're not grading you. You've already passed the class. Okay.
Yeah.
However, it's to help you sustain your brilliant, beautiful life. All right. So we got to do a little jig. We did it. Hey, not the silent jig.
I love
All right,
it.
y'all. Okay, so until next time, girl. Look, this is
Yes.
more of a Tuesday now, isn't it?
I know. I know.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
Okay. It's Tuesday when we're recording, y'all. So instead
Yeah.
of it being a Monday, Tuesday, now we have some sunshine and some love. And I feel really good. And I feel like I'm about to go set up some rituals right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I already got my list. I'm started. I'm started. I'm started.
Yes. Yeah. All right, my girl. Well, until next time, thanks for having this chat, sending and spreading
Yes.
energy out to the world. And I look forward to next week. So week two, let me just give a little preview. It's strengthen the body, reclaiming power over your body. All right. So first we got our mind, and then it goes into our body and strengthening our body, reclaiming power over our body, and then talking about our brilliant bodies and what it really does for us. So, super excited for next week. And until next time, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
All right. We out. Dun, 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 dun.